That's important
Take
to
one.
me.
So what are the chances you hated me when you got back?
Hey guys, welcome back to What Are the Chances? My name is Hannah.
And I'm Sarah.
And we are just going to jump right back into how we got here, how we met, how we became co-podcasters. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, sure. Co-hosts.
Co-hosts. There we go. Okay, so now we are in August, and I am now 3 months postpartum, and I have no idea what I'm doing with my life. I have no idea who I am. I have no idea what the world is outside of newborn baby. And I decide that it's time to come back to work. And I honestly, don't even remember most of this time. It was such a crazy time for me. Like I said, I was 3 months postpartum. Me and my boyfriend were going through it at the time for a whole nother thing other than being parents. We had so many issues. I came back to work and we had 2 new employees. It wasn't just me and Ellie anymore. Obviously, I knew that Sarah was there, and then we had Carly. Carly was born while I was gone. my infant child was born, and we had a front desk girl, and we had Sarah full blown waxing. And I came back like a deer in fucking headlights, not only because of the studio, but just in general. Everything about me was different.
Yep.
So what were your thoughts when I came back?
So, when you came back, I was excited. I was like, thank God I will have advice.
Yes.
But it didn't work out that way because now there's 3 service providers in 2 rooms. So now we're sharing a room. Mm-hmm. We have completely opposite schedules.
Yeah. And honestly, Sarah was so slay because when I came back, Ellie was like, okay, what is your schedule? Like, what do you want? Because obviously we're going to hear you out, and what can you do? And I was like, let me specifically curate a plan for babysitters, and I will get back to you. And I think I completely changed your schedule. And you were like, you're fine.
I definitely cut hours so that she could be there at certain times, which I honestly didn't care. Like, hours don't really matter in this industry. Yeah. Like, it's not like we're getting paid hourly. Like, I need my 40 hours. Like, that didn't matter to me. Yeah. Like, I was like, oh, slay, I get to come in at 12 on Fridays. And I was excited. And, but then it came to this weird point where...
It was weird.
It was awkward as fuck.
It was weird.
We came to this weird point. We had completely opposite schedules. We never saw each other.
Like, ever.
We would cross paths and be
barely,
like, hey,
barely.
How are you?
Yeah.
And then
it was so fucking weird.
It was so awkward.
It was awkward with clients texting me saying oh God, I feel bad leaving Sarah. Yep. How do I book in your book? It was clients saying oh, I want to stay with you, Sarah. How do I tell Hannah I want to stay with her?
That was the awkward part for me is we're going to be so real in this podcast.
So real.
I every time would be like, okay, let's get you back in Hannah's book. And there would be people that would be like, no, you're fine. And I would be like,
and I was you guys, I was a full-blown mom at this point, and I literally was like, that's fine. I mean, there were times when okay, let's be completely honest, I saw it in my paychecks.
Yeah.
I was not making the money that I was making before, and that was the only thing that had scared me, because now I am 3 months postpartum. I'm mending a whole relationship with my boyfriend.
Yeah.
I have a whole different body. I am now starting over in my career. Yeah. And it was a really, really, really tough time for me. Rough. And it showed. And I did the best I could with what I could.
It came to an awkward point where we both were like, is she stealing my clients? What is going on? Respectfully.
It's just so funny now because what the fuck?
Yeah. We're through it. We're through the trenches.
Obviously, we can sit here today and tell
I
the
would
story.
be like, I swear to God, I'm not doing that. Like,
I know. And I would be like, I swear to God, like, I really don't care that they stayed with you. I mean, I love all you guys, but like, I was overwhelmed as it was. Yeah. And I was just like,
different. I was there to fill in essentially. And then I think even like you had said, like, you guys discussed that, like, I wasn't even going to be staying.
Well,
like,
we weren't sure. But we weren't sure like what Sarah wanted to do. It wasn't that we didn't want her to stay, but like we just weren't sure if like and like that was another thing that I had felt really guilty for is like there's this new esthetician. She just went into she just got through esthetician school. She has the whole industry before her. She could do anything. And I felt like, oh my God, like I'm making her be a waxer. Like she has no other choice. Like I'm telling you, me and Ellie are telling you like I'm pregnant and I'm leaving and you got to fill my book. Like, and I'm like, well, what if she doesn't even want to do that? Like, what if she hates her life for the first 3 months that she's in this industry? Like, what if I was that person that ruined the industry for her? Like people did for me. And it was just like so many emotions. It was so crazy.
Yeah. I think we both too were like, I don't even want to say through the grapevine because there is no grapevine.
No. It was us. It was us not being able to communicate with each other.
And it being awkward as fuck. I'm like, okay, I would go to Ellie and be like, yeah, Hannah fucking hates me. And
like, I would go to Ellie and say, Ellie, I cannot fucking start over again. What the fuck am I going to do?
And you shouldn't have to. Like,
well, I did get pregnant and leave for 3 months. And that's what happens in this industry. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, but if you leave, you're going to lose some people. And it's just something you got to get over. And that's what Ellie told me. Ellie's like, all right, well then don't build another book then and stay where you're at.
Is very blunt with those things. And it was very much like she would say to me, she'd be like, well, if you're gonna let this affect you, like that's on you. Like like her actions or whatever she's thinking, like, and if you're letting it get to you, like that's on you. Like she's fine. Like you're fine. Like no one hates anyone. Like you're fine. Get over it.
Exactly. And I was just like, all right, let's go, Hannah. Like, you've done this before and you can fucking do it again.
Yeah.
And you have a baby that needs fucking formula now. So you fucking better do it, actually.
And I think, too, like, since we just weren't seeing each other. Like, there was no conversation. And it was just very different because when we were training together, we were with each other every second. Yeah. Like, we got along great. So for me, it was just like, what the fuck happened? Like, and we just had to get through this weird hump and be like, I'm like, respectfully, I have my own little book that I will say, but I'm like, you can have your clients. Like,
no, and I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh my God,
we were both thinking the same thing and just refused to say it.
We could not talk to each other, and I have no idea why. We were being so annoying.
Yep.
And then we literally we moved here.
Mm-hmm. And then we had our own rooms.
And then we moved here. And as much as we say, and we will get to this later, we always say, like, it kind of cursed us. Moving here was kind of like a curse. Yep. But this is where me and Sarah got the fuck over it. And we realized, like, all right, we're both fucking service providers in this industry, in this building. We both do waxing. Like, what are we doing? Why are we making this more difficult for ourselves? Yeah. And I don't know what happened. We had a meeting and
I called a meeting.
Then we had a conversation. I said, let's talk. And we continued to have conversations. And it just got better and better. We were putting the pieces together.
Yeah, we were finally talking to each other and realizing,
we really like each other.
Don't hate each other. Not that I was ever like, I hate Sarah, but like we just didn't have a connection for some reason. Well, the reason was book. Yeah. But like we weren't like allowing ourselves to like connect for some reason. And then one day, we had our meetings and then I don't know, we came upstairs from that meeting and like it was just so different. It was just
literally the energy shifted.
Oh my God, it was great. It was amazing. And ever since then it's just been Yeah.
It's been really
obviously, honestly, now that we're sitting here talking about it, everyone else in the studio is probably like, what the fuck is happening?
Well, and that's the thing. I feel like only Ellie kind of knew what was going on. Like,
it wasn't like, oh my God, like Hannah and Sarah are in the same room. We
weren't awkward around each other. It wasn't like we came to work and we're like, ugh, like it was not like that at all.
Yeah, no.
Which shows a lot in a person if like you know there's like weird energy, but like they're not being toxic towards you.
Exactly.
And
there was never any real beef. Yeah. There was never any real like.
And there was a lot of things that I didn't know that she explained to me, and I was like, oh, I would have fucking hated me too. Like, even if you didn't hate me, like, there's just on both ends were like things that we just didn't know because we wouldn't fucking talk to each other. And we found out, put the pieces together, and then it was like, oh, we were being stupid. Yeah, like, we're fine.
So,
and we get along really well and are like very similar, actually, so.
Literally. Honestly, people probably fucking hate it. They're probably like, oh my God, these two again.
Yeah.
God damn.
Always saying Badussy and shit.
Always Badussying around. So then everything was great.
Great. We're on cloud 9.
We are on cloud 9. We're like, okay, we're in a new studio. We have like, we have plans. Yeah. Like, this was always in the cards.
For a long time.
For a long time, but separately.
Yes.
Separately. Like,
that was the that's the craziest part. I know. Is we wouldn't talk to each other. We were so down bad that we were doing separate podcasts. And Ellie's like, I said to Ellie, I was like, I think we're going to do one together. And she was like, thank fucking God. She was like, I didn't want to say it. Like, I didn't even want to be the one to say it. Like, just fucking do it together.
Literally. Because, like, we are obviously so well together. Oh, my God. Like, could you imagine? First of all, I would have never made it because I can't edit for fucking shit. So, second of all, like, where was I finding all this time? I would have, but, like, I literally have 2 hours of nap time.
Yeah. I don't think we could sit here and, like, especially because this is the time we have to do it.
Yeah,
like,
it's
being
literally
so real. It's midnight.
Yeah.
And I don't think I could either, but like, I don't think we could sit here by ourselves ranting to a camera for 2 hours at midnight. Yeah. I don't think that's realistic. It's more fun to like bounce off
together.
Each other, be Tana and Brooke.
We are
our idols.
Tana and Brooke, please.
Shout us out. Have us on your pod.
Please, fuck.
And Adam Sandler. Just gonna throw that in there in case he happens to see this one day. He will. My everything.
He will. He will.
I would be in a movie. Just go with it. Part 2.
Just us with that little microphone.
Blend it.
Yeah. So we're on cloud 9. We're living our best lives, you know? And then we get a phone call.
From State Board.
Of
Cosmetology, New Jersey.
Calls us up. Hello. You cannot do lashes.
Or brows. Brow lamination specifically.
Period. So that really threw a loop in the game.
It was weird for me because once we talked about it, Hannah was like, wait, are you gonna be okay? Like, do you have lash and brow clients? Like, are you just waxing? Like, she was like, I genuinely don't know. And I was like, yeah. Like, once I started doing lashes and brows, I had solely lashes and brows and like just Brazilians, honestly. Like, I really strayed away from like the full body, like the bare body bundles, and like I really only was doing like Brazilians and underarms and then lashes and brows. And I was like, fuck. Like, I obviously was not going down as hard as Ellie. Like, thank God we still have waxing and spray tans to like fall back on.
Oh my God, we forgot about spray tans.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned her one. Dolce Glow. Shout out Dolce Glow. We love their team.
And that was really fun for me and Sarah because that's something that we started together.
We'll do a whole nother episode on our experience with that. But
for sure.
Obviously, like, it was like devastating. Obviously not. I will never take that experience away from Ellie because I cannot even imagine what she is going. I mean, like, we know because we're all crying together every day. But that was like what I loved. Like, I was like, I love Brazilians. I could do without a leg. I struggle with
like,
them.
please.
Like, I love doing lash lifts and brow laminations, and I'm like, fuck. Like, and I explained
hurts my heart.
Yeah, I explained it in the way too, like,
genuinely, I was so lucky that this is my first job, that I started out here, because a lot of people have, you know, typical like shitty bosses, shitty jobs. And then when they're more into their career, they find their job that they're keeping for their life. This is my job that I want to have for my entire life. Like, I say it all the time. I don't care what happens. Like, we're doing everything in our power. Like, Ellie literally the other day was like,
Ellie, you're scaring us.
If you want to start looking for other jobs, you can. And I literally start break down crying. I'm like, I don't want to. Like, I can't imagine myself working with anyone else genuinely. And like, that's what was hard for me, is I started out so strong that I'm like, respectfully, I'm only going to go down from here. Like, and obviously there's great businesses out there, like, not to knock them, but I just know career-wise, goal-wise, work environment-wise, this is where I want to be.
Yeah.
So I'm still struggling with that. I mean, we're doing everything, like, we're staying. Like, there's no 100%.
Leaving. We are gonna be fine.
We're not leaving each other. We're gonna be fine. But I was like, shit, like, I really love this, and I haven't even been doing it for a year, and now it's gone.
Yeah, for no reason. We don't know why it's gone.
We don't know.
Still sitting here on this podcast today have no answers to any of your questions. We don't know. All that we knew was that we had to move on to figuring something out
to survive.
Because to literally survive. And like,
as much
as we're in the thick of it. Like Ellie said in her podcast,
we are for everyone, but we have to
also
keep our business alive, like Ellie's business name alive. So
so we're just literally in the thick of that right now. We had a lot of changes happening before that phone call that could no longer happen because that was just not realistic. So we had to, I always like to say, like, we had to go back to the basics. We had to just get back together and be like, oh my gosh, what's our new plan? Where are we going from here? Like, are you in or are you out?
Pretty quickly, we're like, we're in.
Yeah.
Like,
literally.
We're staying. Like, I think
there was no question about it for either of us.
Ellie was just like in denial. She's like, I don't want you guys to crumble with me. And it's like, well, we will.
Oh,
like,
I will.
We will.
So,
and we'll find a way. And I keep saying, like, weirdly, this is kind of the side of what Ellie has been wanting to doing, and like we have too for so long, that I think we're just being forced aggressively.
It didn't have to hit this hard
to get into this, but we have so many exciting things coming that were for later down the line that are just happening now. So,
and it's so fun. Like, we're having so much fun. Sitting down and doing this podcast, like we're having so much fun. We literally you would think we would be so frustrated. It's midnight. The camera stopped working. We don't know where. And we're both like, this is so much fun.
We're good. We had a photo shoot earlier. We had clients all day.
We had clients.
Like, it's been a whole day.
It's been a literal whole day. And we're back at it tomorrow at 10 a.m. We have a meeting to go run another errand. So, like, we are just running our little butts off right now.
We love it. We always compare ourselves to Dolce Glow.
Their
team is, like, small and mighty, and it's
a family, like
a family.
Oh my god, I said to the girls the other day, like, can we all stop like trying to be so fucking professional around each other? Like, we get it, we can work in a professional atmosphere. Atmosphere.
Been around Griffin a little too long.
We can work in a professional atmosphere together. We get that.
We have our boundaries.
Another technical difficulty, we're straight up using these mics and they're not even plugged in. So if the audio shifted, that's why, and that's what we get for recording at 1 a.m. Woo!
We do our best.
We'll do better next time. This is our first 2 episodes. Like, we'll do better next time.
We've only been out here for 3 days.
It's only our 3rd day out here. We don't know.
We were saying that Ellie makes it very clear in interview process that we are not friends.
Yes, she literally says, I am not your friend. With respect, like, it's true. You can't, like, there has to be a line. Like, we're all young, we're all silly. Like, there has to be that boundary set so that you don't overstep and, like, people don't start slacking and you don't get taken advantage of. So that quickly didn't last because I swear, like, it is so
corny. We're the same person.
Yeah, all of us.
Yeah.
It's so corny. Like, we're all the same, and like, especially now during all that's going on.
Yeah.
Ellie has literally said, like, I'm just gonna say it, like, you guys are my best friends, and fuck it. Like, we're either in or we're out, and we're doing it together, and we're gonna just lay everything out on the table from here on out, because...
And I'm so happy. Like, we rose all together. We got into the studio. We saw it being built. We, like, took this journey on together thinking that it was going to be so successful and that we were going to be up here, and we were all down to do that together. So why wouldn't we all be down to literally lose
everything together?
Yeah. It would just be crazy. Like, I'm first of all, I'm never working anywhere else. So sorry, Ellie. I literally said to Ellie, like
unless you don't.
Yeah, I'm like, do you want me to leave? And she's like, no, but like, I don't want to feel like you're staying because you feel bad. And I'm like, Ellie, please, I'm not leaving, and neither is Sarah. So
yeah,
period.
I think we just know we all have the same goals. Like there's no way around it. We all think differently.
Yeah. Like, and we all know each other's work ethic, and we know that, like, I was saying to the girls, like, it would be such a waste if we split up after this. Like, we have so much potential, and maybe it'll look a little bit different than, like, where we were going.
And
but
it's
we
going
want
to.
that anyway.
Yeah. We always, at least always one for the quotes. We always say, like...
Now we be sending each other all types of quotes.
Yep, yeah. The struggle is real, but, like... what positive change are you making if there isn't any uncomfortableness or like struggle? Like, the best things come out of the hardest struggles. So
we had an emergency meeting. I called it in my bedroom because Griffin needed to take a nap.
We've been in everybody's bedroom.
Yeah,
it's gotten real.
It's gotten so real. And we were sitting on my bed, and Sarah's like, it feels wet. And I'm like,
I was like, it kind of smells like throw up.
I'm like,
I think Griffin threw up on me.
I'm like, Griffin's sleeping, and I'm like, oh my god, like, if he threw up, it wouldn't be that wet still, like, and it was a lot. I was like, oh my god, like, if he threw up, I'm actually kind of concerned, because that's a lot. I'm like smelling it. I'm like,
and her bed was comfy.
It was.
I was just getting into it, and I was like,
and she still did.
Something smelling right.
And then I smelled it, and then it occurred to me that I had a bottle of formula in one of my diaper bags that fell out, and I had seen it like on its side, and I realized that I had a rotten formula spilled all over my bed, and she was just marinating in it. So
I was along for the journey.
Yeah, she said,
I was like, this is the worst.
I said, oh, you know what that is? That's rotten formula. She said, no, okay.
I said, I'm too tired to acknowledge this right now. If this is the worst thing that's happened in this week, great.
Perfect.
There is much worse going on. Yeah, I feel like we were all sitting in her bed, and like, we've been documenting everything, all of us crying, all of us.
I can't wait to show you guys all of this.
Yes. Can't wait to see what the outcome of all of this is, and like look back at it later. But we aren't going anywhere. We have so much left to do in this industry for LD Studios specifically, and more that's coming. So
me not knowing how to wait.
And I'm like twitching because it's 1 a.m. So stay tuned. We're going to be talking about everything on this podcast. So if you just listened to that and heard esthetician terminology and were like, what the fuck are you saying? Don't worry, because while we are going to be talking about that, because that's our literal everyday lives, we're talking about everything. I think we both wanted a podcast that wasn't esthetician solely specific. We wanted to be like,
we want everyone to relate.
Yeah, talk about everything that's gone on in our lives. So let us know what you want to hear. Drop a comment. Follow us on Instagram. What are the chances pod?
Yes.
And we'll see you all there. We're so excited.
We love you guys.
Thank you so much for listening.
Yes.
Peace. Cheers.